Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector, my friends and fellow collectors. Today we have something very exciting and truly extraordinary to talk about. We are diving into the world of United States coins and shining the spotlight on one particular piece of American history, the 1972 Liberty 1-cent coin. This little coin is turning heads across the collecting world because of its fascinating history, its design, details, and most importantly its eye-watering market value that has shocked collectors and investors alike. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that was once only worth a single cent but today can be valued at an incredible $748,000. That is right, a penny from 1972 that has turned into a treasure worth nearly $750,000 now. Before we dive into why this coin is worth so much, let us take a step back and look at the story of the 1-cent piece in America. The United States 1-cent coin, commonly called the penny, has a long and rich tradition. Since the very beginning of American coinage, the cent has been one of the most important coins in circulation. It is small, it is simple, but it has always carried a big message about liberty and the values of the country. In 1909, the famous Lincoln cent was introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln, and ever since then Americans have grown up with the Lincoln penny in their pockets, purses, and jars. By the year 1972, the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies. The Lincoln cent by then had become an everyday coin, but the truth is not every penny that came out of the mint was exactly the same. Collectors know that sometimes mistakes happen during the minting process, and those mistakes often create rare varieties that can later be worth a fortune, and that is exactly what happened in 1972. The coin we are talking about today is the 1972 Liberty 1-cent double die obverse coin. That phrase might sound complicated, but let me break it down for you. In 1972, at the Philadelphia Mint, there was an error during the die-making process. The obverse or front die, which carries the image of President Lincoln and the word Liberty and the date 1972, was impressed twice but slightly out of alignment. This created a dramatic doubling effect. If you look closely at a genuine double die example, you will see that the letters Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date 1972, show a strong, clear doubling that is visible even to the naked eye. Now, most pennies from 1972 look completely normal, and those are only worth their face value, but a small number of coins with this double die obverse escaped into circulation, and over the decades sharp-eyed collectors began pulling them out, realizing that these were no ordinary pennies. These were rare errors that collectors would pay a premium to own. The reason this coin has skyrocketed in value is because of its scarcity combined with demand within the collecting community. Error coins are always exciting, and the 1972 double die penny is one of the most dramatic and desirable examples. The doubling is bold and unmistakable, unlike some minor varieties that require magnification to confirm. This makes the coin not just rare but visually impressive. Let us talk about the value, because that is what gets people really interested. When a coin like this appears at auction, the prices can be astonishing. A top-graded mint state example of the 1972 double die penny recently stunned the market when it sold for an incredible $748,000. That is right, a penny that once could buy a piece of bubblegum is now a prize worth nearly $750,000. This is not an exaggeration, this is the real market at work. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts recognize the historical importance of this piece and are willing to pay enormous sums to add it to their collection. It is important to understand, though, that not every 1972 penny is worth a fortune. Most are ordinary and will only ever be worth 1 cent, but if you happen to find one with the dramatic doubling, you could be holding a life-changing treasure. The key is to look closely at the word Liberty, at the motto In God We Trust, and at the date 1972. If the letters and numbers appear doubled, bold, and clear, you may just have the rare double die variety. The story of the 1972 penny is also a story about American history and about the way simple objects can carry enormous cultural value. A penny is something so small that most people do not think twice about it. People toss pennies into jars or even onto the ground without caring, but collectors know that every coin has a story. Every coin is a piece of art, a piece of history, and sometimes a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Think about it. For decades, these rare double die pennies were circulating quietly in the pockets of ordinary Americans. Someone might have used one to buy a cup of coffee back in the 1970s without realizing they had just spent what would one day be worth a house or even more. It is a reminder that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, and that is part of the magic of coin collecting. Collectors today are not just chasing value, they are also chasing history. The Lincoln cent has been around for over 100 years, and the 1972 double die penny represents one of the most dramatic moments in its long history. It shows how even the smallest minting error can turn into a legend. It proves that the tiniest details matter and that the Careful eye of a collector can uncover something truly special. Now let us also look at the broader coin market era. Coins like this one continue to gain popularity because they are unique, unlike regular coins which were minted in the billions. Era coins are accidental and rare. That rarity fuels the high demand, and in today's market where collectors are more connected than ever thanks to online auctions and global communities, the competition for these rare coins has driven values to record breaking levels. The $748,000 sale is a perfect example of how far the market can go. So what can you take away from this? If you have a jar of old pennies sitting in your home, it might be worth taking a second look, especially if you have pennies from the early 1970s. The chance of finding a genuine double die is small but not impossible. People are still finding them in circulation today, and every story of discovery fuels more excitement. To wrap this up, the 1972 Liberty 1-cent double die coin is more than just a penny. It is a piece of American history, a rare treasure, and a symbol of how something small and ordinary can become extraordinary. It captures the imagination of collectors around the world and stands as one of the most valuable and legendary Lincoln cents ever struck. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and who knows, maybe you too will stumble across a fortune hiding in the palm of your hand. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping stories in the world of coin collecting. We are going to talk about the 1992 D Lincoln Memorial Cent, also known as the 1992 D Liberty 1-cent coin. This little coin that you might think of as ordinary pocket change has a history and a backstory that has completely shaken the numismatic community. Believe it or not, one of these coins has been valued at an incredible $324,000 on today's coin market. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that most people would simply pass along in change at the grocery store could actually be worth more than the cost of a brand new luxury car, a down payment on a home, or even an entire college education. That is the power of rare coins and the importance of knowing what to look for in your everyday change. Now, before we get into the details of why this coin is so special and why collectors are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for it, let us start with a little history. The Lincoln Memorial Cent series began in 1959, when the United States Mint replaced the wheat-back design with the now famous memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. The obverse still featured the classic bust of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which had first been placed on the coin in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. For decades the Lincoln Memorial design dominated the cent series until it was finally replaced in 2009 for the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. So where does the 1992 D coin fit into this long story? In 1992 the Mint was preparing for a major design change that would officially appear on coins in 1993. That change involved updating the reverse design by refining the lettering, spacing, and overall detail. During that transition, a small number of experimental pieces were struck. These transition coins featured what collectors call the close AM design. That means the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin are much closer together than usual. On the regular business strike coins from 1992, those two letters are widely spaced apart, giving it the nickname Wide AM. But for this rare transition variety, the letters are almost touching. That tiny difference has created one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence. Now specifically we are looking at the 1992 D version of this coin. The D Mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. While there are also rare 1992 Philadelphia close AM cents, the Denver version is far scarcer and commands an even higher price in the market. Collectors search through countless rolls of pennies from banks, coin dealers, and even pocket change just hoping to stumble upon one of these treasures. Imagine the feeling of flipping over a penny and noticing that the letters A and M are close together instead of wide apart, then realizing you may have just found a life-changing piece of numismatic history. The reason this coin is worth so much money is not just because of the design difference but because of how incredibly rare it is. Fewer than 20 confirmed examples are known to exist, making it a holy grail find for coin enthusiasts. When rarity is combined with high demand from collectors, the value skyrockets. Over the past decade, these coins have shown up in auctions where they have shocked the world by bringing in record-breaking bids. One specimen in pristine mint state condition sold for over $300,000, setting the current market estimate around $324,000 for top-grade examples. That is why every collector, beginner or advanced, dreams of discovering one. But the value of this coin is not just about money. It is also about history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Each rare coin tells a story about a particular moment in the history of the United States Mint. In 1992, the Mint was experimenting with new designs, new hubs, and preparing for a future update. Somehow a few of those experimental hubs were used to strike coins that accidentally entered circulation. Most of them probably disappeared into piggy banks, cash registers, and everyday commerce, never to be seen again. But a handful survived and have been authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. Their survival is almost miraculous considering how many pennies are produced each year. Collectors who want to hunt for this coin need to know what to look for. On the reverse side, check the word America. If the A and M are close together with almost no space, you might have the valuable close AM variety. On the regular 1992 D coin, the A and M are spaced widely apart. Another detail to check is the shape of the designer's initials FG, which stand for Frank Gasparo. On the close AM variety, the initials are sharper and slightly different in style because they came from the 1993 Proof Design Hub. These small details are the keys to identifying a life-changing discovery. The excitement of searching through coins is part of what makes this hobby so addictive. Anyone can start looking. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars on rare coins to begin. All it takes is curiosity, patience, and attention to detail. Every time you get change from the store, every time you roll up coins to deposit at the bank, you have an opportunity to stumble across something extraordinary. Stories of people finding rare coins in circulation are real and inspiring. Just imagine being that lucky person who finds a 1992 D close AM penny and sends it off to be graded, only to discover it is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let us talk about the market today. Coin collecting has seen a massive surge in popularity thanks to social media, online auction platforms, and educational content that spreads awareness. Rare pennies like the 1992 D close AM have become symbols of hidden treasures still waiting to be found. The current high-grade market value sits around $324,000 for a mint state example. Even lower-grade examples still bring in thousands and thousands of dollars. That means even if your coin is not perfect, it could still be life-changing. As with any valuable collectible, authentication is critical. If you ever suspect that you have found one of these rare coins, the first step is to handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it, avoid scratching it, and store it safely. Then consider sending it to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC who can verify its authenticity and assign it a grade. Only then can you truly know its potential value on the open market. In conclusion, the story of the 1992 D Liberty 1-cent coin is more than just about a penny. It is about the magic of discovery, the importance of paying attention to details, and the idea that incredible treasures are still out there waiting to be found. This coin is a reminder that history often hides in plain sight, and that sometimes the most ordinary objects can turn out to be worth a fortune. So the next time you get a handful of change, do not just toss it aside. Take a moment to look closer. Who knows, you might be holding a piece of numismatic history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So welcome back again to the channel. Today we have uncovered the mystery, the value, and the thrill of the 1992 D Lincoln cent. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and keep your eyes open as you never know when you might discover the next big treasure hiding in your pocket.